Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nullified Tech channel here on YouTube, where we've got the TNT takes for you on Survivor UK! Whoop whoop! It's our first ever live here with everyone tonight, and I'm joined by two very special guests. We've got my number one queen. You know, she's been by my side since day dot Survivor UK. She hasn't tapped and gapped like our mad boy Tom, who's been here the whole way through. Is the Queen Vee. Vee, how are you?
I'm good. What's up with you guys?
The roots.
We all good? Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing fantastic, thank you. But let's not forget, Vee, we actually do have a special guest with us tonight. You know, as I mentioned, he tapped and gapped a bit earlier, but hopefully he is here to permanently stay and to marry us both. It is the great, the wonderful, the sexy, the handsome Tom! Tom, how are you?
Can I request this a little bit less enthusiasm, please?
Nah, man. I'm on such a high time. I can't. I really can't. It was a great week of Survivor UK.
It was, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to be as nothing as possible just to match all your energy.
Well, Tom, you unfortunately haven't been here with us for the last couple of weeks. You know, you're is it Octolus or Octopus something? Like the internet provider cracked up one week.
Octopus.
It's Octopus, yeah, it's Octopus. Yeah. And then obviously, you know, you've been quite busy with work recently. So just over these last couple of weeks, what has been your thoughts on Survivor UK for the rest of the pre-merge?
It's a show, and there's people in it. So yeah, see you everyone. That's all from me. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. I like the cast for the most part. Like I think Tanuki, yeah, she's awesome. Peg Leg's a legend, of course. Lee, lots of fun. I think I like pretty much everyone, but I honestly think the music, it just makes it feel not like Survivor at all. It just feels so fake. I hear trouble. I hear trouble come. I love Royal Blood. I love Muse. That is Muse's cover of Feeling Good, but I don't ever want to see them mashed up with Survivor. That's like getting your favorite savory food and your favorite sweet food and then mashing them together. It's probably not going to work. Just, and then they go into the tribal music after. It's like you have some pop rock song, and then you have I'm not going to try and vocally emulate. You got this. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to do it either. Sorry, I got a bunch of instruments here that, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah. Anyway, I hate the music, and it's kind of killing the whole vibe for me at the moment.
Yeah, I will actually agree with you on that, Tom, because Vee, something about Australian Survivor, which I personally love, is the soundtrack. I feel like each track that plays really intensifies the situation, builds up different, character situations, and it makes Blindsides feel very epic. And I'm not sure about you, but the music at Tribal Councils is kind of like a lullaby almost, right? Rather than oh my gosh, a big player is about to go home. It's just doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo,
I've actually really, not noticed it.
You haven't?
No, I've not tripped over the music at all. I
really?
It's not bothered me at all.
You know the part where it bothered me the most? when like, okay, so the loved one, like the love letters, like in Survivor, there's this really beautiful there's this really beautiful piano instrumental that they do in like sort of sadder times. I actually know the composer who made all the Survivor music, and like I hats off to him for making like such great Australian Survivor music. But like, you got this nice instrumental that elevates it. But then in the UK one, like while these people are having like they're reading their things, you just got like this generic like really bad pop music. It was like, I will always miss you. You are my baby, and I love you. Oh yeah, it's just like that's not gonna make me feel anything. Like there's nothing worse than like that sort of Ed Sheeran-esque kind of like, oh, like I love you and you love me too. Like that kind of like level of intelligent lyrics like going on in the background while someone's trying to because Lee's story, like I thought Lee's had like a really nice story in his love letter.
Yeah.
And you've got, but I love you, baby, in the background. And it's like, oh my gosh, like shoot me. I mean, I don't know if that might demonetize that. But like, yeah, like anyway. Also, in terms of like from a financial standpoint, it's actually cheaper for them to get a composer to write a whole bunch of original.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Than to like. So, I don't know what they're doing. Like they're putting a big chunk of their budget into just getting pop songs into it, and it just, on an island you don't have Triple M or 97.3. I don't know why I'm listing specific Brisbane radio stations. Like Mucky's gonna know. Like Mucky's gonna know what Triple M is. Anyway,
I didn't think anyone under the age of 70 knew what Triple M was.
Oh well, yeah. Anyway, thanks for making me feel old. But yeah, no, like, yeah. There's no radio stations out on the island, so
no. There's no Toxic by Britney Spears like there was the other week. Yeah.
Yeah, like
so.
Something that Gabe brought up here was a lot of the budget went to copyrighted music a bit. I absolutely agree because we even have the auction, and I just have to bring this up. I promise this will be the last thing I shot on Survive UK for, but with the auction, all the items look shit. Like the food that was presented, I was like, what? I would never bid on that. Vee, would you?
No, the scones. The scones. I would have put my entire budget on the scones. I am scones. I don't know how they say it. I would that whole presentation of the scones and the sandwiches.
Yeah,
I would have thrown all the money at that because that looked amazing. But yeah, the toothbrushes.
Yeah, I was like, come on, like
the toothbrush is like a common one. Like they've done that many times before. But it was such a boring auction. Like no one really like tried to outbid anyone. Like it was sort of like, yeah, and then, oh no, oh you can have it. You're such a good friend. And then the flipping host was like, oh, and guess what? I've got another one. Who are you going to share it with? I'm like, oh, I wonder who they're going to share it with. I was like, oh, I'm going to share it with my friend who just gave me this thing for a cheap amount. Oh, it's all
very polite.
Auction. Yeah,
so
I'm
polite.
like, where are okay, like I know there's like lots of like fancy, like polite British people, but where are all the like the people like at the pub at 3 a.m. who's like, oh, glass you mate, have my beer. You want to buy that beer off me? Nah, 5,000 Dominican pesos, whatever the currency is. Like, where are these people? I want to see them on my TV, not oh yes, I would like a scone. Thank you very much. Yes, oh yes, quite thank you.
Well, I'm glad there was an advantage in the toothbrush that sort of spiced it up a little bit. The sort of boring tooth. No, it was in the hair washing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the hair wash. Yes.
Yeah, so the hair washing.
So there was a extra vote that was hidden. No. The extra vote was the thing separate. It was that idle clue that was hidden inside one of the towels. But something I was really confused
I love that.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, exactly what Gabe brought up. Still can't believe nobody saw the scroll. Obviously out of Christmas, but it's true. It's like he even stood up at another point. He put it in his back. Like where else could he have put it while everyone's staring?
And they would have seen the cameras go like to his bottom as he's walking along.
Yeah,
but I love that. I love it when someone gets a clue in plain sight and has to figure out what to do with it. That makes me really always love that.
Yeah, because I know you haven't seen the earlier seasons of Australian Survivor V, but Tom, there's that great moment in Champions vs Contenders where Sian found the idol at one of the individual challenges, and as she was walking back, it just fell out of her pants in front of everyone.
That was great. One of my biggest leads to one of my biggest heartbreaks with Benji convincing Sian to play the idol on herself.
No, that was a great move.
No. Yeah, it was, but like we lost Matt as a result. Like that's
true.
That and I'm just like, how did she believe him? Like, how did she like? No. Oh no! Don't play it on Matt. You're going home, Sian. Play it on you. I better play it on me, I guess. He makes such a sound point. Oh my gosh! Like,
we better quickly move back to Survivor UK, Tom. But we'll definitely have this chat again. Another point we'll talk about Australian Survivor, but something that Survivor UK has been doing extremely well is I feel like they're getting the best challenges from American Survivor and just putting them all onto the season. I feel like every pre-merge challenge was one of our old favorites from American Survivor, and even the individual challenges as well. Like we had the I feel like it's classic one where you have to stand on that seesaw with a heavy object on the other end, and it's you can't really break it. And then also Last Gasp. V, have you been enjoying the challenges so far?
Oh, well, they've chosen the classics, haven't they? Like the two most iconic looking Survivor challenges of instantly recognizable to anyone who's watched any US Survivor. Just to say, we're in the same universe, we're in the same place. Don't get scared because of the accents. We're on the same show. I feel like there's been a lot of in the challenges picking up on the classics and not reinventing the wheel, which I think is really smart. There's no need to.
But Tom, we did see that there was a kind of a twist on the Last Gasp challenge, which I'd love to hear your opinions on. Where normally they just start them off already in the water, water's already up there. But there seemed to be stages to the challenge where at first I was holding it quite high up, everything was fine. And then they kept lowering the gates or the bars more deeper and deeper. Did you like that they added this twist element to the challenge?
Yeah, no, I definitely think the challenge is probably the best part of this season so far, and I thought it was interesting. I wasn't against it or for it, but I definitely thought they could have just made bars and that would have also saved them a lot of money budget-wise. This mechanism must have cost a decent amount of money, I'm guessing. Why do they just want to waste all their money on things they don't need to spend stuff on? But anyway, I still love seeing Last Gasp. It's one of my favorite challenges. I've always wanted to do it myself. I would, put me in a drowning simulator any day of the week. It sounds lovely.
Such fun.
Yeah. So I was very happy, and I loved hearing Pegleg explain how he won, with the drought, not counting the sets. I thought that I was just thinking about how lovely it is to get drowned. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, good on you, Pegleg. You're a bloody legend. You're a legend.
Legend.
Well, I think in the Survivor version, they've always just relied on the tide changing rather than moving the mechanism down.
I like how you said the Survivor version as if this isn't Survivor. That's
US
so,
version. Sorry.
You managed
in
to
the
say
real one.
You managed to say something that's harsher and meaner than anything I've ever said, and I try to say mean things.
This is the Geordie Shore version.
Yeah. Well, we do have a comment here from Gag. I love Pegleg screwed his own plan by winning immunity.
He couldn't help it.
Yeah, he couldn't. Well, let's actually get into the vote. So we had two blindsides this week, two big characters going out back to back. We'll start off with the first blind vote out. Lee, unfortunately, V, we've been very high on Lee throughout this entire season.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fun against Snuffed?
Well, it's interesting. We went into the merge, and then all of a sudden they were like, right, we're going to find out who's in charge here. They had that absolute mentality and, a bit of a pissing contest to start off the game, the post-merge. And so, sorry, I wrote notes this time because every time I'm like, I have no idea what happened. I can't remember it from Sunday night. But, it was really, I know. It says you were up there like, I'm just looking up there for no reason. So it was a battle of the leaders and lines were drawn that you've got Lee and Chris and Ashley on the two camps and they were just rallying their troops. And unfortunately, Lee was on the wrong side of the numbers, but as he stated, probably not to the cast. It seemed like he was on his own in the second episode. He said his henchmen would go on, which I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah.
Wait, so I'm curious, guys. Did you guys think Lee was playing a good game?
Yes.
Really?
I think he was. I think there were definitely elements there. I thought he was playing quite a good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was becoming.
Oh, after you, Vic?
Oh no! After you, Tom. Tom's got thoughts.
I feel like he telegraphed every single move. Like he was really honest, but the thing is, people still didn't fully trust him, even though he was so unbelievably honest. Like if you can be such an open and honest person, and people still can't trust you, that's a huge knock against your game. He was also very aggressive towards people and rubbed people the wrong way. He basically made sure that Christopher would never work with him again by yelling at him for that. That's a terrible move.
But he had a point.
Yeah, but
going crazy.
But don't do it like that. Anyway, but it doesn't matter if someone I was gonna say stabs you in the leg, but no, you can probably get mad at someone if they stab you in the leg. Anyway, no, it doesn't matter if someone makes a huge blunder and and puts you and your alliance at risk. You still got to handle it the correct way. Otherwise, you're gonna get that person on your bad side. If I yell at you for something, even if it's completely justified, they're probably not gonna. That person's not gonna like me anymore, probably. And then, I think. Sorry, I was gonna say one more thing. When one thing he did do well when he was getting voted out, was bringing up how Tanuke was getting targeted by Christopher and Ashley, but one, he should have brought that up sooner, addressed it with Tanuke sooner to get her on side earlier. But I think he also should have, in the moment, because he did save it to the very end, he should have gone, well, if I'm the one lying, if I'm the one who actually wanted to get Tanuke out, then what was I yelling at you about, Chris? Because, I'm guessing a bunch of people here know that I yelled at you about something. What did I yell at you about?
Yeah,
and it was about you trying to throw the challenge. Make more of an effort to out them before he gets voted out, because he should have known at that stage that he was probably the one going home. It was a 50-50 coin toss.
Yeah, I think, when I say Lee was, in my opinion, a great player, I'm not saying he's up there with your Davids, your Georges, your Boston Robs and whatnot. I'm saying he's a great player for this season, right? Because this cast is not very strategy heavy, and I feel like Lee has definitely sort of capitalized on that, as well as a few other players like Tanuke, like a Doug, like a Peg Leg, and has been able to storm his way through the pre-merge. But I do think his argument with Chris in the previous episode was actually his downfall, really.
Perhaps, yeah. Well, I think my whole argument for Lee was that initially, and yes, maybe the argument with Chris was his downfall, he played an excellent social game. It's like what I was saying. If you've got all the tribe, if you're rallying the whole tribe with a freaking machete going, we're going to win this, yeah. And everyone's just going, okay, then you've done something right. And I think if he'd continued that momentum, then he could have had everyone eating out of the palm of his hand. And he was trying to be the godfather and everyone's dad. But, but it just goes to show he still had loyalists even after he got voted out. In Pegleg and Doug and I personally felt that he was
like out of the players who were left going into merge, he was probably one of the worst players left.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, each to their own. And I think the thing he was best at was throwing 2 people under the bus as he left, and also finding a way to get the pillows 7 nights in a row. If he was able to if he was able to apply whatever strategy he used to get that pillow for 7 nights to a Survivor game, he would have been the best player, hands down.
Yeah.
But I do think something that works for him is, this is something I had in mind for our reality TV Squid Game, but since Tom hasn't seen that, I'm not gonna talk about it just yet. But where Lee is obviously the most strongest player there, like on the tribe. So it's like if they got rid of Lee, there's no way in how they're like beating Nathan, Shy, Lawrence, Doug, and Pegleg, right? So they kind of like, especially a one-on-one challenge as well. Like, is Matthew going to go up against Nathan? You get what I mean?
Oh, Matthew's no slouch. He's no slouch. He's pretty tough.
He's definitely no slouch, but I do think Lee's probably like your best, most physical competitor to go up against someone like a Nathan. What's your thoughts on that, B?
Sorry, I just had a chopper go across. Say again.
All good. So what's your thoughts on like they needed to keep Lee for as long as they did because he was like
and I honestly think that I think he still had incredible influence. I think that's the whole reason that he was voted out was because there was 2 camps basically, and Lee was leading one, and Chris and Ashley. So I think he still had influence until the moment he was voted out. He even had influence after he was voted out, and I think he was kept because people looked to him for guidance, or they didn't see it as the right time. And of course, there's strength-wise as well. But once Matthew joined the group, he's got an incredible amount of strength, so it wouldn't be as much of a worry.
Yeah, exactly. So
the. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I feel like it was a mistake on most people's behalf to take him out. I think he was someone that was causing a lot of trouble, that he's someone that you could easily turn the votes on whenever you wanted to. I think it would have been smarter to take out one of his henchmen that would have weakened him, making it harder for Lee to actually be a threat. Like, because it's a lot harder to get all the votes on Pegleg, for example, or one of Lee's other like really tight teammates. So if you manage to weaken him by getting rid of one of his henchmen like Pegleg, and then keep Lee in the game as someone that you can turn into an easy vote at any stage, like you don't get the biggest threat out of the game at merge. That's just a stupid thing to do, and that's another knock on Lee's game. It was like, to me, it was so obvious that people should have kept him around, and he still found a way to get himself voted out, because like I don't think he was ever going to win. Like if he got to the end, like I wouldn't have voted for Lee. He rubbed someone who was the wrong way. He wouldn't have had respect from the jury. I don't think so. Yeah, they should have kept him in.
Well, I think the threat about Lee, and this is something that Gabe brought up about Nathan, how the challenges aren't suited for Nathan types that he expects. What Gabe expects that Tanuki is going to win more than Nathan. I think that these challenges also heavily suit Lee. He's like a boxer. He's really good at endurance. Like mentally, we've seen he's really strong. So I feel like Lee, like especially compared to Nathan, I feel like Lee would definitely he's more of a higher chance of going on an individual immunity streak.
Are we watching the same show? Sorry, I feel like sorry, I had to object to everything you guys say, but like every time I saw Lee, like on a one-on-one challenge, Lee would always get beaten. In the challenge where they had to go around the circle and catch the other team, like he was carrying less weights than the other guys. Even gosh. He was carrying less weights than the other guys in the water, even though it was his plan to like drop off to just 3 guys and catch up to the other team. There's lots of challenges that I feel like he was not competing in, even though he should have. I think he would have been really strong, but I actually don't think he was that great of a physical asset compared to what he should be on paper.
But I think he was holding a lot back to sort of not shoot his wad too early on, and for people to see him as that physical threat. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, we never saw him actually really be a physical threat.
Shoot his wad.
Yeah, like I mean, he could have been holding it back. He could be stronger than Aussie for but it doesn't matter if he doesn't use it.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to say, V, I really enjoyed our podcast before we had this guy come along to start arguing with it. You know, with all of our
get some good opinions.
Good.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I could say the same for you, but
yeah.
Hey, I like Lee. I'm sad Lee's gone. He was my top 3 favorite characters. So yeah.
Plus, he survived. It was his idea to do that stupid bag plan, and he survived even after he was the one that came up with that idea. He managed to handball that onto someone else. I can't remember who. So that's skill.
Yeah. Great strategist.
I think they had lots of like what's the word? Like fat to trim or whatever.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, cannon. They had lots of cannon fodder at the time.
Yeah.
But,
So
agree to disagree.
So we do see Chris. He gets a extra vote advantage. V, are you happy to see that Survival UK is adding in different advantages into the game?
Yeah, and I think now the merge has started, we're often rollicking away into some classic proper survivor gameplay. And I think Chris is terrific. I am keen to see what he does now he has no friends. And if he can survive that, I still pick him as one of the top 3. If he can survive being the only one left on his own little tribe, then that's pretty spectacular. But all signs point to him going next week.
Yeah.
But, he could bounce back.
Was it his extra vote or his idol that expired after 3 tribals?
Maybe the extra vote. I'm actually surprised to use the extra vote in the episode on Sunday night, episode whatever it is, because that was an important vote. Like, he needed to get Lee out across the line although it was all for nothing, because Peg Leg, there was enough people that were pissed off by the whole situation. But I'm surprised he didn't use it and didn't see that as an important enough vote. But so now he's got that he can hold on to. It'd be better if he'd held on to his idol. But
well, keep in mind that like he probably was very, very confident or almost like 100% sure that he had the numbers on that Lee vote. I mean, we're seeing an edited thing, so I feel like they're trying to make it look like a is it this way or this way kind of thing. But it probably was always going to be Lee, like without a doubt. And obviously he had to use the idol the next episode. So, I mean, I think he's doing the best with the bet he's made. I was I got the extra vote like thing all ruined for me though. I went to clicked on episode 9, and it gave me it said episode 9 and everything. But it was giving me like the recap like from episode 10. So it's like
oh my gosh.
Last episode we saw the auction and Chris won the extra vote, and I'm like, no, I didn't see the auction. I didn't. So then I had to go back and watch. Man, 10 plays terrible. I'm just saying that. I had to go back and watch episode 8. Like I just sort of fast forwarded through it just to be like, yep, that's definitely, I've seen that one. So where's the merge episode? And then I went back to episode 9 and then it worked just fine. But like with 10 play, for those who don't know, you get like the ad, like the mandatory ads, and I'm just like,
the ads are
unbearable. And they're so just shoved in there at the wrong spot. Like halfway through a sentence, it'll go the ads, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
whatever, it's not the worst interface, but on Australian streaming, but it is also one of the worst. 9 plus or whatever it is the worst now, interface you could 9 now that could possibly come up against.
I think I was a bit like not keen for the merge episode because it took me 20 minutes just to get in, like actually onto the merge episode, and then when it came like to tribal, just before about 3 of the votes, I had to do something like urgent, so I didn't even like really enjoy the episode. So I'm sure
you can't pause the ads either. Did you know that if you try and press pause while the ads are playing, it just won't pause?
No, you can pause them, but like it
won't for me. Like I press pause and it like and it just keeps going. It won't let me do anything.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You know, and it's just little things like that ruin my day.
Well, I'm not one to brag, but I've got no ads because I've got very special private links to it.
Oh, yeah. Where do you watch it on, Mucky? Yeah, where do you watch it?
No, you guys are stuck with the ads. That's your problem.
Yeah, this sounds legal. This sounds very legal.
It's only get brought up. At least it wasn't.
Yes, Gabe. Yes, Gabe. God, I can't stand the loved one letters. I can't. It's just, I don't give a shit. They're only away for like 30 days. It's like they're going to war.
Loved one letters can be good if you actually have good music behind them and you edit them well. Like, for example, Josh from Blood vs. Water, the guy who was, he was rivaling Mark the entire season, yet he still got no edit. Yeah, completely underedited. He had an amazing love letters moment, like when he found out his wife was pregnant, like through the love letter. Like
okay. I'd
Yeah.
have a Johnny Fairplay moment, and I'd probably write that I'm pregnant, even if I wasn't.
I plan on using the love letters strategically. Like I'm gonna tell my people what to write. Like,
well,
in the bag.
Tom, I'm not sure if you saw, but in Australian Survivor All Stars, there was a uncut loved one scene. It was cut. There was a deleted scene of David reading his letter with Luke. Yeah, and Luke told David that his dog had died, and then he wrote underneath, "P.S. Don't worry, your dog isn't dead, but maybe you can use this to get some sympathy from other players." That was so
I can't believe they cut that with all sometimes Australian Survivor feels like torture, like depending on the season, and like if there's nothing interesting happening, like they have plenty of space to cram a funny moment like that, and I can't believe they didn't do it for the winner, David.
Yeah, exactly.
And Luke Toki,
yeah, and especially because they were like the number one duo from just the previous season as well. Like everyone would still remembered that they were
those two are probably in every single Australian Survivor fan's top 5, like without a doubt.
Well, not mine. Because you got your Sneaky Steves, you got your Rogues, got your Henrys and your Benjis, But let's get back to Survivor UK. So we do see that the whole tribe turns against Ash and Chris in the next episode, V. Do you think it was the right time for them to flip to take up lead? Because I don't think so.
In that first post-merge vote to take out lead? Yeah, I think they were making a statement. I think Chris is all about statements. I think he's all about being flashy and making big moves like a bull in a china shop. So, of course, taking out his sort of rival, of course, that would be his first move. He does something flashy and then he gets in trouble, and that's why I think if he survives next week, then it's working for him, because now he's in trouble, so he's got everyone against him, so he's got to work that, like they said on the ad, a charm offensive to get some people back on side. But I think it was a flashy move. It was the right kind of flashy move for Chris, for better or worse. And I love it when the big flashy moves happen. I love to see moves that go wrong. I love to see all that happen. Otherwise, you've just got the game bots on US Survivor that are so paranoid, they're too scared to do anything, really.
Yeah. Now, that's such a really good point, because Tom, I know that we've talked a lot about, big blindsides and big things we would like to do when we eventually go on the show. But I feel like sometimes that there is a time and a place to make these moves. And I feel like the first vote of a merge, because what we clearly saw was Chris and Ash made this move, but you got original Calaton, which are still very tight together, which maybe they're playing up the fact that they aren't tight together and we're just not seeing that. But you still got all these other big ginormous factions that sometimes it's good just to pick a couple off, so then when you do make that flip, it's not like a behemoth of numbers you're going into. What's your thoughts on that, Tom?
Well, I think my favorite merge, vote out, at least in terms of strategy and what I would like to accomplish myself, is Boston Rob on Redemption Island. Like that is the ideal merge boot. You know, just like, oh, we don't know, they have an idol, we don't know who they're going to play it on. We have this wishy-washy guy in the middle. Let's just vote him because they're never going to play the idol on him. And then we've established the numbers majority and we burn their idol. And it's just like everything about that is like the most masterpiece merge episode ever. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people hate on Redemption Island, but it's got like at least 3 amazing episodes. And then it's got little tiny bits here and there that are okay and good. And then the rest of it's just like, you know, medium level Survivor in my opinion. But that's like the ideal merge for me. Taking out someone that won't hurt you, but it also puts you in a better position than the other tribe or the other alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I mentioned earlier, we're coming to the next episode, and you know, Lee, he calls Chris and Ash out for them, you know, wanting to throw the challenge, you know, to go to Tanuke and Leilani and Matthew. They do, you know, sort of fight back against Lee about how he wanted an all-male alliance and to lead with that, which that is something that's been brought up on the show, that, you know, the number of women that have been voted out, and Ren has been, you know, really sad to see. Vee, what's I guess what's your take on all of this really about, I guess, Lee's plan on just getting as much males together and like challenge threats and going far into the game?
I mean, I didn't personally see. I know that was. I didn't personally see much of that. I don't think. I think I said last week. I don't think that was in Lee's gameplay. I don't think it's a smart move to have any sort of gendered alliances. I think people get their backs up, and it's just you're cutting down your options completely. And I think everyone knows it. So, I think while I love that. You know, Tanuke said that I just can't vote out a woman this time. All that stuff is great.
Fantastic.
But I don't think anyone is consciously making any sort of gendered alliance. I don't think anyone's quite that stupid. So, you know, this isn't the early 2000s when you could get away with it. So, I didn't. You know, I think there were a few misogynistic things said as jokes that maybe came off poorly, were a bit rah-rah. But I think at the end of the day, everyone could recognize that both genders, there was so much strength across both genders that there was really no point in trying to get anything going of a gendered alliance at all. Even the girls, I know Leilani, a lot of them have been saying it, but I think they just realized that you're cutting so many options and there's really no point.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the next episode, we do see that Ash, you know, she really does want to make this all women's alliance work, but there's just so much trust that's been broken. You know, where Hannah is on one side on her own, Ash is on one side on her own. You got Tanuke and Leilani out together. So it's like, how can they all really make it work when then all these different factions and groups? Like you just can't. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And I know she tried to have that heart-to-heart with Leilani and Tanuke, sort of, I think as Tanuke said, too little, too late. After the whole, everything blew up at Tribal. And I think, you know, she was trying to be, you know, sisterhood of the traveling pants kind of thing. But yeah, it just wasn't pulled off effectively. And she needed Chris. So she was never going to be able to go full women's alliance without betraying Chris. So I could see that Ashley and Chris were sort of going to stick together as long as they possibly could. So, but the whole sisterhood rah thing just came a little bit too late.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, you know, we do see the whole tribe turns against Ash and Chris here. Do you think that there's anything they could have done to get themselves out of this spot?
Well, I may have fallen asleep during the strategizing, so I recommend if I was them, don't fall asleep during the strategizing. That probably won't help you. They could have dressed up as maybe Pegleg and Tanuke, and then they could have dressed Pegleg and Tanuke up as them, and then then they would have voted those guys out instead. That's a strategy there. Oh, I know what Ashley could have done. Ashley could have said, "Guys, I'm Rachel. Why are you guys getting mad at me?" Like, because I mean, they look the exact. I couldn't tell the difference between them. Like, in fact, it only just dawned on me in the last episode. Oh, this is the person that I was like getting confused with the other person. Oh, look at her go! She's actually doing all right, and then she gets voted out. So yeah. No, honestly.
After you, Tom.
I know. I had no other words to say. I just kept on talking.
Okay. Well, Vee, do you think that there's anything they could have done to get out of the spot?
As I'm looking at my notes of like where it was, I think Pegleg and Doug are just they're really strong and they're very influential and I don't know. And I feel like it was a real blindside. They thought they had the numbers. They talked to everyone. I don't know what they could have done. Maybe played the extra vote. That would have changed things. Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Something that Gabe brought up here is if Christopher wanted to save his idol, could have voted for Ashley and have predicted for next round. But at the same time, you're not sure exactly where the numbers are going. Is it going 5-3? Is it 4-4? Because you don't want to 5-4-1 yourself out of the game. Is Ash going to vote for you as well?
I think it's a great move, Gabe. And do we all know who the first person who ever did that in Survivor history is?
No.
Gabe, isn't it embarrassing? We're with a bunch of amateurs here. Seriously.
I know.
It was Alex from season 14 Fiji when he voted out. He put a vote on Mucky, I believe, to give himself another round in the game. Anyway, Tom's education time is over.
Thank God you're here, man. Thank God. Yeah, well, of course he could have done that, and then then he's going into next week with an idol and everything. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a good look either.
So to disturb the conversation, but Tom, is that a real bow tie or a fake bow tie? I literally can't tell.
Huh?
It's real. Thank you very much. Made in Denmark. Respect.
Nah, that's not real. No, on second guess, that's not real.
Yes, it is, Mucky. Look, it is absolutely real. It's absolutely real. Look at it.
Tell that to the Denmarkians. Seriously, that's offensive.
All right, Tom, I want you to go like this with your bow tie.
And what would that prove? That I have to.
I don't know if it's real or not.
That I have
it's
to bow
real. Just
down.
Trust it.
That I have to bow down to your commands just because you're the host.
I'm the host.
I don't think I will. You should respect your visitors, your guests.
My guests will. Do you know what respect I'm about to give you, bro? Bang! He's been voted off the podcast. Whoa! He just got leave. He just got.
He did a Squid Game death.
He did. He has gapped it. But he's back. He's back. Okay.
I came up and don't disrespect me.
See, it's because you tried to intercept the host. I had to cut out your perfect comeback moment.
I'll give you that one.
For now.
Yeah. Something that the Gabe has brought up is now Christopher dead man walking unless the rest of Lenina and Lauren to make a move. If not to Nicolas, just control the rest of the game. What do you think could happen next week, Vee? Do you think
Tanuki Alliance, not Pegleg Alliance and Doug? I thought Pegleg and Doug were calling the shots, not Tanuki.
Well, what numbers does Doug and Pegleg have? Because Tanuki's got Nate, she's got Matthew, Leilani's there, and even though Lawrence recognizes on the bottom, it still seems like it's still tight with them. And there's 9 people left, so that's 5 of the majority. And Doug's idol has expired.
I think what Chris should do is he should use his extra vote as a as a token of trust, he should say, if you get me through the next 2 votes, I'll give you this extra vote, and be like to whoever he wants to work with the most, or it feels he can trust.
It's a Hail Mary, but that's all he's got.
Yeah.
I think that now that I think about it, I feel like the move to vote off Lee was even worse now, simply because I don't think anyone from that 5 will break. I think if there's one person who will break, it's Matthew, because we do see him talking about Nathan being a bit of a threat, but I really don't see the 5 of them breaking anytime soon. So now they're at a 5, and I guess Hannah's with Dagger Pick, like a 5, 3, and a 1. Which extra votes can only be used once, so it's not like they can use it in a revote to draw rocks or anything.
Well, I think Matt would be a good idea, because he was also having a discussion about getting out Doug. So it could be a way to get something going with him and sort of look at that, breaking up that peg leg Doug twosome. Because I think peg leg orchestrated this whole move on Chris and Ashley. I think there are a lot of people influenced by him. Yeah, I think, Gabe's right. It could be sort of a Tanuke versus Peg Leg alliance now, and Chris is just going to be holding on to survive.
Because
I'm just looking at my notes. That's why I'm looking down.
I thought because Doug's idol was only good for 3 tribals, which he had the Jess vote, the Shy vote, and the Lee vote, and now it's completely expired. So unless there's a new idol they potentially find, they've actually got no way of really protecting themselves.
He could still use it though. I mean, like it looks the same as Chris's one, right?
Yeah.
And like as if these Survivor cavemen are gonna know. Oh no, that's an expired one. Show us the note. We don't believe you. Like yeah, if I was him, I'd try and leverage it somehow. And that's why I was saying with Chris, like if he can somehow leverage his extra vote to get in with some people, and then try his best to vote out maybe in the next 2 votes his 2 biggest of in terms of challenges, like then he can potentially attempt to go on a run, like an immunity run. Like if Chris got rid of like Doug and who would you say like the next best, like the next biggest, maybe Tanuke or Matthew in terms of like physical threats? I feel like Christopher could like be the favorite to win almost every challenge.
Probably, especially when it comes to these individual ones as well. We do see like Christopher's a great all rounder in almost all the challenges, except for the one that he tried to throw.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a cartwheel challenge, we know that Christopher's got it in the bag.
Yeah, sure.
So, Tom, what is your thoughts coming into next week?
Sorry, I'm reading Gabe's lovely messages. So I think that I will probably fall asleep again at one point or another. I think it's going to be predictable votes. And yeah, I think they'll do some great challenges, some terrible music choices, and I'll have the exact same opinion of the season.
Yeah. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Yeah, I think there's a lot to come next week. I think we're going to get one big blindside, which I feel like is going to set the course for the rest of the game. What's your thoughts on that, Vee?
As I would love to see Chris find a way through. That would make me really happy. And blindside or not, I don't know. Yeah. I don't see him making really big flashy moves, but although he could, he's a big flashy guy. So if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him to stay in the game. I like Tom's idea of getting trust with someone by using the extra vote. Maybe he'd be smart to have a look at some of the people who have eyes for other people. And so I mean, who knows? Everyone loves a blindside, and they can't seem to do a vote without one. So
yeah, who knows? I guess now that we're here and the mergers happen, who's both your winner picks?
You go, Tom.
My winner pick?
Yeah,
is someone that is still in the game. I don't have one. You know.
You don't.
Whoa.
No. You have to pick someone. Right here, we're making our
I have
official
to.
decisions. Yes, you have to.
Wow. First you hate on Denmark, now you force me. This just feels like 1984 all over again. I refuse to give you an answer. So now that you have besmirched my name like that, good day, sir.
What if I was actually the ruler of Denmark?
I knew it.
No, that's what twist.
The ruler of Denmark is way classier than you. Good day again.
Well, I'll ask you, Vee, since we got Mr. I want to keep my thoughts and opinions to myself.
Before my laptop dies out here, okay, Chris, I want to see him find a way through somehow. If he can survive the stuff he survives, then he's going all the way through the end. I think Tanuke is a force of nature, and I'd love to see her go far. And I think Leilani will come along as a goat. Yep. Not the goat, a goat.
Yes, I completely agree. And
she's very malleable.
Gabriel took a good point that the best players left are Tanuke and Doug. I absolutely agree. And my win pick is actually Tanuke or Tanuke. I think she has them. Is it Tanuke?
I can't remember. Tanuke.
Wouldn't
that be? Yeah. That would be interesting if you've got an interesting name. If before the vote everyone starts going, how do you spell your name?
Oh, no one cares if they can spell people's names, right? I'd probably go out of my way to spell people's names wrong. Like, if I was voting out someone called Tim, I just put like a W and like a V in there somewhere.
Well, something I like doing in Starbucks is I like going up saying, it's Michael with a Z. and I see them trying to figure out where the Z goes. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. But I completely forgot to bring it up. Ash, poor Ash. So we do see that Chrissy kept us onto the plan, and he knows that it's between him and Ash. He plays the idol for himself, and we do see Ash go home. Vee, what's been your thoughts on Ash this
it's a shame she couldn't get what she wanted and get her perfect alliance going. It's disappointing, but I thought she had great potential, but I think there are more compelling individuals in the game. But it would have been nice to have seen a Lady Macbeth kind of alliance happening, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, no, I really liked Ash this season. I thought I knew right from the premiere that she was going to be like a big strategic player, but then she was immediately put on the bottom. But I love this whole underdog story. We sort of got how she was working her way up in the ranks to the point where she was in this big power position. So I'm really sad to see her go. I already know what Tom's going to say about Ash. He's going to say who. What's your thoughts on Ash, Tom?
but I want to correct Gabe. So next Australian Survivor, we're not going to see Mucky spelt weird. We're going to see it spelt weird 11 times because everyone in the tribe's going to vote. So yeah, but look, Ash, Rachel, I don't know, same thing. I've there was like the first 3 episodes, I couldn't tell who she was, and then the next 3 episodes, I couldn't tell if it was Rachel or Ashley who got voted out, and then after that, I don't know, she seemed like in a decent spot, and then I was saying she died. No, she disappeared. She's got voted out. I don't know. I didn't really take any notice of her the entire time. Not to sound mean, Ash. I'm sure you're a lovely person, but I've fallen asleep I think 6 times in this show because of the music. So it's not your fault.
Well, all I gotta say is that so far I've been really enjoying Survivor UK. Tom Stacey keeps falling asleep, but then as I keep bringing up, he fell asleep during the Ahsoka show. So it is his taste even good?
Worst show ever.
I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, boys. I can't do this again. I cannot go through this every episode.
Vee, what's been your overall thought?
Separate you two.
Oh, Ashley was the one who got injured.
Was she the one with the hand? Oh, I couldn't do it because my hand was injured.
I thought it was Rachel. Oh,
there you go. I know they. I love that the merge has kicked in. I think we're getting into the real nitty gritty of it. I don't trip over the music as much. The music doesn't bother me. I even block your ears, Tom. I even quite like the music, so you know, I think it's great, and I think I'm really living to see Chris actually, which is, you know, he's now going to get voted off, but I just love his wildness in this whole game, and so I hope he finds a way through.
He's been extremely entertaining this whole way through, so I really hope that he does somehow scrape and find his way. If Shy can somehow if Shy can almost make it to the merge,
Mad Dog Shy,
Mad Dog Shy, the strategic mastermind of the whole season.
They mentioned it at the first episode as well, going, "Oh my gosh, thank God Shy's gone. He was crazy."
Yeah, and Lani was like happy, she was clapping, and everyone's like, "Yes, Shy's gone. Oh my gosh." Nuts.
And we saw none of that. He was just a guy.
Have faith that you never know Christopher can survive.
I think he's a force. If he does survive against those odds, I think we've got to put him as one of the top players of the season. If he can get through that maze and talk his way out of it without winning immunity or something. But also, if he wins immunity twice, that's also very impressive. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm hoping for Gabe.
I mean, it's not necessarily about like going from the direct bottom to the top, but it's all about like managing your way through, right? Yeah, like we saw in Haley.
To the middle.
Yeah, because we saw in Haley with Brains versus Brawl when she got voted out, she didn't go straight back to the top. She was sort of in the middle, pretty much the whole way through until like the final 8 or final 7. Then she was on top with George again. But sometimes you do just gotta, you know, just float for a bit, and then bam, come straight back out, you know, on top.
Yeah,
I mean, manage your way to the end.
I don't think you can become one of the best players of the season if you find a way to get yourself as like the public enemy for everyone by final 10. Yeah, like you've clearly done something.
If you can pull yourself back, because that's the thing, he's a bull in a china shop, right? Big flashy moves and everything. But if he can do that, recognize that, and pull himself back, then chef's kiss.
It'd be a great like save yourself before you're gone, but like you're still not. That's not good or anything, you know.
No, well, I always judge if someone can save themselves in a vote against all odds, and yes, the edit does play into it. That to me puts them into one of the higher tiers of the season. In my opinion.
That makes them even better than the person who was never targeted in the first place because they managed their threat level the entire time.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yes. I'm standing by that.
Okay.
Like Haley. She even got voted out for Pete's sake, and then she came back.
That makes her a bad player. Like she didn't deserve to win because she got voted. She lost the game.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
She didn't play that season well. She's a great player, but but
she pulled herself back.
It's because she was on a season. She was on a season full of non-Survivor fans, and they just voted for her over George because they didn't like George, and they preferred her as a human being. That's why she won. Like that's actually fact.
Well, we're talking too much Australian Survivor here. One last comment from Gabe. Poor Shy, he's just a Survivor super fan stuck in trouble with old-fashioned gameplay.
Yeah.
So we had a deal that if Shy was like a strategic mastermind, you know, and he kind of George his way through, then I would buy you and your partner and, you know, whoever else wants to come tickets to go watch the new Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey sequel, which comes out on Valentine's Day next year. We do see that he did pull off at least one move in getting rid of Jess. So, Tom and V, it's up to you. It's up to you guys. Do you think that's worthy of a Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey ticket?
But Shy, no.
Because he technically made one strategic move.
So this is just V saying she doesn't want to watch the movie. It's like, no. Shy. Oh, what, the person who made it to the very end and won unanimously and played the perfect game. No, he is not a strategic mastermind. No, don't. I don't deserve those tickets. Please.
No. I don't go to movies, so
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm pulling a Mucky when he said he does to a girl he doesn't eat. To get out of a date.
Gosh, no, don't personally expose me like that, V. But unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of our podcast. I just want to say thank you both so much. It's been a while since all three of us have been finally reunited, with the octopus Wi-Fi and Tom being at work. It's fantastic. The gang is back together, baby. But if you're new to the channel...
For better or worse.
Yeah, for better or for worse. But if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. We would love to hear your thoughts. It's our first live for Survivor UK. We've had to pre-record this whole time, but we will be doing another live next Wednesday at the exact same time. And Tom will be here with more of his magic, which I still don't know how he does, but he always finds a way to do it. But if you're new to the channel, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below your thoughts on the season and who you think is potentially going to take it out. But until then, thank you so much everyone for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.